Good evening, everybody. Welcome to an unscheduled, but we're here. So you've got a live to watch. Rich has got, Rich the Beard times 16, he's got a committee meeting tonight, I understand, for the Scouts. So he couldn't sort of participate in both. So he asked Andy if either Andy or myself could do it. Andy did lunchtime, so I said, "Okay, I'll do this evening. I can find something." So I found something. Unfortunately, it's going to be a bowl, but it's going to be a bowl in wood that a lot of you will probably never have seen before. It's sort of canary yellow. It's a 9x2 blank, home processed. There's a little bit of sapwood in there, which always brown. There's a little bit of pippin in the top there. I'm not sure whether the camera is going to pick it up, but there's a little bit of pippin there. So it should be quite interesting. It's a fairly coarse wood to turn. Um, you've
You
got to be
haven't said what
ready.
it is yet.
Yeah, it's got to be relatively light with the cuts. You can't put too much pressure on because you can see the ripples through there.
Yeah, yeah.
You can jump in and out of the ripples with the bevel of the gouge. So Leo's got it right. I haven't mentioned it
Oh yeah, yeah.
tonight.
He
So
has.
well done, Leo. It's a lump of English mulberry. And I had a phone call a few years ago, must be now about 8 years ago. Was I interested in collecting some mulberry from down on the coast? Well, that was about an hour away from me. So I said, "Yeah, what sort of size is it?" Expecting it to be branch size. She said, "Oh, trunk's about 2.5 foot diameter." Okay, I'm on my way.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So let's bring the second voice in.
Hello, hello.
Yeah, I managed to
Greetings.
wake him up. So
Cheeky bugger.
yeah, well, we have a laugh, don't we, mate?
We certainly do. No point
Yeah,
otherwise.
no, nothing malicious in this. So let's go back to me. Go back to a different camera. Come on, wake up. I'm going to mount it on the F jaws from Axminster.
You
So
murdered
I've got
somebody with those.
I've got a faceplate ring on the back rather than a mortise drilled into it. Um, I do find that if I put the faceplate ring on, I can adjust it. If it's not quite true where I want it, I can just take 3 screws out and move it a fraction, whichever way I like. But once you've got a hole in there, you are sort of governed a bit as to what you can do with it or what you can't do with it. So,
Your daughter's saying evening older generation, by the way.
uh,
I would
I
expect
won't
nothing
say
less, of course.
no. I won't say too much.
No. Oh, just hello, children.
Yeah. Right. So we'll make sure everything's locked down as it should be. Could have cleared my safety glasses off, but I didn't.
Oh, steady on. I
Yeah, I
wore
know.
mine today, so you don't need to.
Oh, I do because you
Oh,
see,
right, okay.
I don't wear glasses like you do.
Ah, right, yeah, yeah.
Only for driving and for really close work. Right. So
Okay, so while you're
that's
getting that prepared, shall I tell you who's in?
yeah. I can. I've just turned the extractor on. I've freshly sharpened some gouges, so we're good to go.
Right, first one in was Tommy, Tommy's workshop, followed by some guy called Circular.
Mm.
Um, Weeval, Brian Watkins.
Now let's
And,
just butt in for a second. That's
yeah, sure.
bleaching out a bit, but I've got no additional lighting on. I just need
Uh,
to see what I'm doing. If I
yeah, I was
turn,
going to say that should be fine.
yeah, I can't see with that one
We can
off.
we can live with that, I'm sure.
Okay.
Peter Corcoran. I can't remember who I've said now. Brian Watkins, I said. Malcolm Douglas. Gary Glass. Weavel, I think, said that. Yeah, I did. Same people having a chat. Keith Jarvis. And Robert Dolman. I didn't say him, no. And flipping through this. Neil M. Freefields. MG Woodworks, it's Leo, isn't it? Yep.
Yes.
Tony Smith. Hello, Tony.
Club member.
Yep. Door 60. Hello, Door. I know there's more. Because I saw Katie was in. I'll get to her in a minute.
Yeah, she's in. I've seen her.
Yeah, Douglas Mungham. Cornish Maid. There we are. Hello, Katie. I knew I'd seen your name somewhere. If I don't do it in order, I get totally confused because I'm getting very elderly. At least that's my excuse. Linnykins, as I mentioned earlier. Talking about the older generation. I despair of the younger generation, so that's all right.
Well, I'm not sure she can call herself younger generation at 36.
Oh, okay. Oh, I don't know, young enough, and compared to some.
It's younger than us, anyway.
Yeah. Norman Greenwell. Oh, I think I must be getting some. Oh, Roger Kent. Hello, Roger. And I think I must be getting somewhere near Jennifer. Jennifer's Craft and Creations. Hello, Jennifer.
Weavy
Woodshed.
In.
Hello, Andrew.
36 of them staring at me.
Yes, it's good. It's good. I'd like to have plenty of people.
So I'm just going to mark with one leg of the dividers for a mortise in the bottom.
Right, Paul Kavanagh is in. Sorry, I'll finish this in a minute.
That's okay.
I'm very
not the
slow.
easiest thing
No.
to get onto at times, is it?
And everybody's name's in there so many times.
Yeah.
I could just read them all out, but that would be really boring. Probably even more boring than having me sitting saying nothing very much. But Keith Jarvis, I said hello to, I think. Yep, Jonathan Flynn. Hello, Jonathan.
No, all the way from New York.
New York, that's right. He enjoyed Andy's show. Now it's your turn.
Thanks, Jonathan.
Barry Chitty is in.
Hello, Barry.
Hello, Barry.
Another club member.
Good to have a chat on Sunday. And I think the way it's jumping up at the moment, I must be near the bottom. Yes, I am, and that's it. So welcome everybody. If I've missed you, give me a shout, and I'll give you a shout. But I think I've got everybody.
Yeah, it's easier said than done.
Now Jennifer's just put up a list of everybody who's on there. I should have done it earlier. I could have just read her list.
Yeah. Sorry if I missed anybody.
Yeah. Yes, I don't know that one.
No, I've not met him recently. Now, I have noticed there's a couple of new names in for me. Weavel was one.
Yep.
You're more than welcome, Weavel. Where do you hail from? We're a nosy lot.
It's nice to know a little bit of something about people, isn't it?
Yeah.
Roughly which country they're from at the very least.
Right. Stop that and see what it looks like.
Cornish Maid 1982 says Coughs 1982. Join the club, Katie.
Actually quite a good finish.
And Linnykins said, sorry, Dad, how old do you think I am? I think you got that wrong. You'll be in trouble. Barry's Wood Creations is in. Hello,
well,
Barry.
It was 35, wasn't it?
Well, would have been at one point, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, well, if that's all I've got wrong.
Tipsy Turner says, pop quiz, do you know where Minnesota is? Well, it's in America, isn't it?
Mm.
What more do I
Yeah.
need to know? Douglas Mungham says, Andy, you're but a
That's
spring
Jeff anyway.
spring chicken. What's that, Tipsy Turner?
Tipsy Turner is Jeff.
It's Jeff. Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, unless he's changed his name by deed poll during the week.
It could have
He was
happened.
definitely Jeff last week.
James Crawford is in. So still people arriving. Greg Alexander.
Yeah, 41, watching me now.
That's good.
Let me stop this and show you a silly thing about this mulberry. It is quite waxy.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can just see it there, clogging up the paper.
Yep, can indeed, yep.
So you need to have a fairly slow speed to sand. And you can see the rooster tail coming off. It comes off well as dust, but it really does block up the paper. And I don't know that what you use lunchtime, the Abranet, would be much better.
I think when it's easier to knock it out, it probably would give you
Yeah.
a little bit longer, but not an enormous amount.
No,
So.
but it's a funny wood. It's really waxy.
And Tipsy Turner says his name is still Jeff, but he can
Good.
change it if you like.
No, you stick with
No,
what
please,
you've got.
please don't. I'm not good with names.
Change it on someone else's life by all means.
Yeah.
So that's 80. Just getting rid of the one or two little slight tool marks. It was only where the bevel rubbed a bit, which I said right from the start. You've got to be careful where how the bevel rubs, because it is quite a soft wood.
I was going to say it is quite. Yeah, I remember that bit you gave me. I did. It was quite soft, but very satisfying to turn.
Oh yes, yeah.
That
Funny smell.
Yeah, but the colour is fantastic.
Yeah. Now, for those of you that don't know anything about mulberry or English mulberry was brought over from France. It was brought over by the noblemen, the gentry, and they wanted a statement tree outside of their big pads, for want of a better word, so that when you came up the drive in your horse and carriage, not cart, horse and carriage, you were faced with a nice green, because I believe it's evergreen tree facing you. And the only disadvantage of the tree is that it has red berries. And those red berries are an absolute nightmare if you walk through them, tread in them. They're just like blackberries on the ground. So the mess goes everywhere. But they had gardeners, so they weren't worried about things like that.
Sweep it up.
Yeah. But that's where they originate, how they originate over here. Unless someone's fed me some duff information, in which case I've fed you lots some duff information. So that's a bit of 240. Just because I've got some somewhere along the line, just tickle it with a little bit of 400. I'll do that in the opposite way round. You can see I can see it's taking the dust off. So quite happy with that. And I've had the dust extractor running all the time. I've been turning because of the smell. So without further ado, we're going on to Chestnut's acrylic sanding sealer. Hopefully there's enough in here. Surprised how far it goes, but it doesn't go very far when the can's empty.
No, true.
So that's good enough for that. And I'm going to use exactly the same method as what I normally use, which is paste wax. A, because I've got a load of it, and B, because that's the way I've always finished with the paste wax.
Brian at
Now,
Heartwood Turning is in.
hello,
He says,
Brian.
good evening, lovelies.
Nowadays you would use Yorkshire grit, and I suppose I will have to one of these days when I run out or get low, or Lynn's good enough to donate it to us like he does a lot of people. But everything that both Andy and I use, we supply ourselves. We're not affiliated to anybody. It's purely down to what I want to use. So what I want to use is the pure paste wax or fine paste wax from Black Bison from Liberon. That works a treat for me.
And there's no pressure on us to use anything in particular.
No.
It's entirely up to us, so which is quite nice. Don't mind that.
Same with tools. All the tools I've supplied myself.
Yeah.
No nice handouts, or would you like to use this, or can you use that and support us?
Vast expense sometimes, but
There's nothing to say that if anyone offered me a reasonable deal with either tools or finishes, I wouldn't use them. I'm only human. Well, I think I am anyway.
Graham Hain is in. Hello, Graham.
So let's put that on at about 200 in reverse. Leave it at 200, put it in forward, work it in the opposite way. All you're doing on that is one way you're lifting the feathers of the grain up, and the other way you're taking them back off again. So you're halving the amount of time, and through using a wax as a sanding medium, any dust which would come off now, which won't come off now because of wet wax, is captured in the Weebrax pad, which is my abrasive medium. So I've crept the speed up to about 500. Do it in forward. That's the size of shaving that I was getting off. A 1/2 inch bowl gouge, and that's a good 1/2 inch shaving. Just see that laying up on the lathe there, where it had dropped.
So 45 in now.
Good heavens. Thanks,
good,
guys.
It's been a good day today.
Yeah, very good number. So lightly buff off the wax. You don't want to take everything off that you've just put on. You want to leave the wax on there, which is why we're using it. I will probably buff this with a Canubra wheel on the chestnut system at a later date before it goes up for sale, but that won't affect the overall finish of it. The finish is now there, nice and shiny, smooth. It's got to get the wax out of the 4 grooves that I put in to make it look like it was supposed to be finished. And this won't quite be as shiny as what we can normally get yew. The reason is it's a lot coarser wood. So it does detract a bit, but not enough to worry about. So I think you can just about, that's it. If I put my hand above it, you can see more of the colour. There's the peppy bit. There's flecks of colour all the way around.
Yeah, it's lovely though, isn't it? Look at that.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
Yeah, it really is.
No wonder it's called a noble wood.
Douglas is asking how tough is that finish?
It's a wax finish, Douglas, so it is not ultra tough. But once there's a bed of canuba on the top of it, it will be a lot tougher.
Yeah, it's good stuff. Colin Izzard is in.
Good evening, everybody.
And several people are subscribing to Weeval's channel. He's now
Right.
up to 50. I think he was on 20 something earlier. So he's doing quite well.
Well, we're all in to hopefully support each other. We all
Well,
started somewhere along the line.
That's Weeval's comment is, wow, that's amazing. You guys are the best,
Yeah.
such a supportive gang. And that's right. Colin. We got a Colin coming. Oh, Colin Izzard, yeah, I said about him. That's all right. Talking to myself, don't worry about it.
You can
get
take
the answers
something for that anyway.
I'll get the answers I want then.
Right, slightly radius the edge of the top. No, still missing a bit. That is bandsaw cut between my fingers there. So I've still got to go a little bit tighter.
Yes, Weeval is obviously new to all this because he's sorting out the terminology. So, Katie says first sign of madness. I think she's talking about me talking to myself. I don't know, I've done it for years, Katie. I find it's quite inspiring, really. Or does that sound too arrogant? It might do.
That feels better anyway.
Good. Colin's asking what the wood is. It's mulberry, Colin. Not a timber you see a great deal of, but it's really rather nice. When I was selling, I have one bowl on my table of mulberry, and so many people ask what it is because it's an unusual colour. Yellow look. A Weeval comes from Fife in Scotland. Well, somebody has to, so that's all right.
Yeah. Good luck.
We're way down in the deep south, in Sussex, West Sussex, I should say.
Just below Gatwick Airport.
Yep.
It's a good marker for us.
Certainly is.
Using the digital calipers to check the rim.
Gary Glass says, can everybody stop saying mulberry? Now I can't get the song out of my head. Maid, he says. Here we go round the mulberry bush, the mulberry bush, the mulberry bush. No, we won't go there.
You've been told about singing, Andy.
Yeah.
That's for special occasions on Sundays.
Yeah, we never do have demos on Sunday, so that's all right.
Right. I think we can do what I normally do. Get rid of the faceplate ring.
Yeah, because it doesn't look very pretty.
Feature.
Yes. Not saying what sort of a feature, but it's a feature.
So there's inch 8 screws holding that on. That was more than enough.
Yeah. It's a lovely piece of wood, though. Those ripples and whatever, you're really very
quite
pretty.
happy with that. Turn the right way around now.
Gary says, Andy, make the bad man stop singing.
Hopefully I'm not knocking the camera too much. I can feel it on my shoulder.
Yeah, it just moves a little bit now and again, but nothing serious. We can cope with that.
Good.
Not even feeling slightly seasick. Richard. Oh, Richard Fellon's in. Hello, Richard.
Hi, Richard.
Cornish maid Katie's she's watching closely because she's now at this point with her bowl and
right.
well, hollowing it out. It's only taken her a month.
But it'll be a grand thing when she's finished it.
Oh my word, yes, I'm sure it will be. And it's just practice.
It is. And even we get it wrong at times.
Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely. We all do. We're all human, aren't we? Well, ish anyway.
Such a soft wood that you can easily put in a bigger mark than what you're trying to take out.
Yes. Yeah.
On this.
I just found it faintly satisfying to turn.
Right, I think got a nice yellow floor now.
Yeah.
Completely different to the reddish orange that I've had in the for the past few months.
I was going to say it'd go well with my red one, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Right.
Katie, slowly catch your monkey. Yep. Yes, it's not a race.
No. Sometimes you can finish them a lot quicker than others.
Yeah. One thing you almost guarantee will be that the second one will be quicker than the first one.
There you can see the paper.
Yeah.
How it's picking up, yeah.
The waxiness, yep.
Yeah, I could feel it on my finger when I touched it. Just to feel whether there was a ring, and you can see the two little rings that I've left. They're quite, 1, 2, quite predominant, but
as Gary says, hopefully not so many catches though. No, that's true.
Catches.
No, you're talking about Katie.
Oh, Katie, right.
Getting more confident, and if you have a couple of catches, you learn to deal with them, and it's not as traumatic as you thought it was going to be. Because you don't put
you've got sharp tools and you've got a speed that you're happy with.
Yeah.
I mean, I turn that at about 400, 500. So it wasn't a massive speed,
No, that's quite
but
slow, isn't it?
you all
Well, it is
saw how
compared
it
to me,
cut.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, you saw
yeah,
how well it cut. So
yeah. But no, I mean, as long as you don't put yourself in danger, don't do something silly. If you jam a lump of metal into a spinning bowl, it's going to fly around, isn't it?
yeah, metal and wood don't really mix, do they?
But if you apply all the rules that we've all talked about many times, then 9 times out of 10 you won't have a problem. And even if you do have one, you know it's coming because you know you're doing something wrong.
You should be able to read the instructions.
Within experience, that all comes. Does make you jump a bit though at first, I have to say.
Nothing like a good jump though, is there?
No, gets the adrenaline flowing and
Yeah.
keeps you on your toes. It's
when you have such a big jump that you've got to go in and change underwear.
Yeah. Then you know you've gone too far.
Yeah. Yeah.
Rex B is in. I don't think he was in before, was he? No. Thank you too for your great way of showing how wood turning is done. I always learn from you two. Thank you, Rex. That's very kind.
Well,
We'd like to pass on what little knowledge we got.
Yeah, try and answer the questions and show you why I do it or Andy does it. We're not going to say that this is the 100% correct way of doing it. With wood turning, there isn't necessarily a 100% way of doing it. This is a method that I've developed.
Yeah.
I've seen I can't say hundreds, but I've seen a good few many professional turners. We've had them at club over the past 18, 20 years. So I've followed those. I've seen them around the circuit. The only one I've had a lesson with is Les Thorne, only because he's just up the road from us. And 4 of us went down for a tickle up, shall we say. And he came down and he opened a club workshop down at the museum.
All right. I wasn't aware of that. I like Les, he's all right.
Yeah. Yeah, he said to me he said to me when he got down there, he said, "Oh God, if I'd have known you were down here, Keith," I said, "Well, I was organising it, so you should have done if you'd have read the instructions." He said, "You could have done the demo for me."
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's not quite the fun, is it?
It's the name, isn't it?
Yeah. Right, that's sanded in forward. Go over to a bit of 180.
Rex B's doing his usual thing about the thumbs up for you.
Well, appreciate it, Rex. We don't do it for the thumbs up, but it certainly helps YouTube to invite you or let you know, notify you of when any wood turner is going live.
And it does let them know that people appreciate what we're doing. So
yeah, we're not just another subspecies on the top of the list that says wood turners. We are the wood turners that
we're at the bottom
people
of the list.
that want to watch.
Yes,
I've done that. See if I can find.
Yes, Douglas said he had a piece jump off the lathe that made him rethink what he was doing. Absolutely, Douglas, that you've hit the nail on the head there. Think about it, work out why it did it, and then don't do that again.
And try and get straight back on it.
Yes, it's like riding a bike. If you fall off, get back on.
Only hurts initially.
Yeah, you get over it. I mean, I'm not suggesting you should wrap your hand around a bandsaw blade when it's running or something like that, because that does hurt. But
common sense.
Yeah, I've done that. Don't want to do it again. But no, it's obviously it is using common sense. That's really what it's all about. And you know which bits are going to hurt you, and which bits aren't.
which is why we always knock the edges off of a very sharp edge.
Yep.
So that's why you'll see me go over it with the paper like that, just to put a little radius on it.
Just to keep it
Because
softened. Yep. Yep.
that is as bad if you get caught with that as a paper cut. We all know what paper cuts are like.
Yes, they niggle for ages, don't they?
Just a bit.
Common sense
a
is a
bit.
superpower these days, according to Katie. You mean it's rare? Yeah. Oh, excuse me. I'm only dying slowly.
Dying slowly, right? Yeah. He was okay when he was asleep before I got him on air.
Yeah, I wasn't asleep at all.
So this is a bit of 400. And now I'm just going to spray it with sanding sealer. Get rid of the dust while the big sucker's working.
Douglas is saying his bit of wood went through the side of a cupboard. Well, that's all right. You can repair a cupboard.
Yeah, it's better than an arm.
I saw a coffee tabletop go through a roof on our workshop at college. That was interesting.
It's the paperwork, though, isn't it?
Yes, but nothing was going to stop it. 2-foot diameter coffee table.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah, on the end of a lathe, on the old graduate unit.
Oh, right. Well, yeah, they got some power as well, haven't they?
Yeah, they did, yes. And, my God, it went. I think I've got a feeling he fixed it on with a bit of paper, glue and paper.
Oh, right, paper joint, paper glue joint.
Paper chuck or whatever they call it, yeah. Which is probably not the best way of putting something which is an inch thick and 2-foot diameter.
No.
It's a bit heavy for that.
It's not the way, nor not the method I would use, I don't think.
No, he didn't half move.
What, toilets or
rapidly?
Out
the way, certainly.
Yeah. Right, so
builders came along and mended the roof, so that was all right.
Yeah,
your paste wax,
paste wax again, and putting it on with a Weebrax pad. A bit of a Weebrax pad. I don't like investing too much money. I'm doing an Emma. I cut mine down.
She does make me laugh. Oh, Chris, Bailey Woodworks is in.
Hi, Chris. The problem with using a big lump, because they normally come about 5 by 8, I think it is.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, is that you don't use half of it.
No.
And using it the way I do to put wax on, I'm actually filling up the little pores on the Weebrax pad with dust. I don't know that you can.
Yeah.
You can just about see it, that it's almost solid there, but that side's quite good. Only about 2-3 weeks.
Oh God, it's got ages to go yet then.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's the way I was taught at college to do finishing.
Yeah. Well, I think
that's all steel wool or whatever, the variety of different abrasives used, but yes, it was
steel
basically
wool
that.
Was the one that we used, but the problem with that is if we did anything in the way of oak and we got a little bit stuck in there, it'd turn it black overnight.
Yeah, you always did get little bits stuck in, didn't you? And they just sit there and degenerate and go black.
Yeah, the tannin from the oak.
Yeah, makes a dreadful mess.
The slight oil that you've got from your hands. It's surprising how quickly it does turn.
Oh yeah. I know. I had a coffee tabletop. Somebody put a cup of coffee on it. It was before it was a table. It was on the bench. So it was completely untreated, and some of the coffee spilt out, and I didn't see it. Went in the next morning, and it was bright blue.
Right.
Like as if I'd spilt blue black ink. The old Quink stuff.
The old indigo.
Just looked like that. Unbelievable how quickly that stained it. It took a hell of a lot of getting out too.
Well, coffee and tea were one of the favourite stains that people used, weren't they?
Yeah.
To colour wood.
That's right. Oh, yes, they were. Yeah.
And
in fact, I saw some paper that had been stained the other day, to make
Yeah,
it look like an
coffee used
ancient
to be that one.
ancient document. Yep. Some of them were signing up at church to do with the school. I'm not sure what it was
It's
quite. But,
5 degrees in, freezing 5. Are you warm in your shed? Yes, thanks, mate.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's lovely. My heater's actually gone off now. It's that
mine
warm.
will do in a minute.
Mm.
I've only got it on 1 bar. It was on 2 bars for about a quarter of an hour when I first come in, but it's only on 1 bar now. So
Yeah, Cornish maid said she never got to do woodwork at school. We were made to do metal work, which I hated, and made my teacher do most of it for me. I must admit, the first 2 schools I went to, that only did woodwork, metal work. They didn't do any woodwork. And I went to comprehensive school in Crawley just for 1 year and did woodwork there, and got my O level too.
yeah, I did both when I first started at secondary, metalwork and woodwork.
Yeah, it's so dirty, metal work. I've never got on well
Yeah,
with
but
it.
you could beat crap out of a bit of metal and it didn't half
Oh
feel
yeah,
good.
that's right. It has to make lots of noise.
Yeah.
But no, it never appealed to me, and that's why
No.
I'm so pleased with John over the road. He does my metal work, and I do his woodwork. It works extremely well.
Well, I think,
It's looking lovely.
ladies, gents, boys, and girls, we have
So,
reached the culmination of today's
well, that's 42
this
minutes.
evening's live. Let me go over onto this one and get rid of
So,
my safety glasses
so you're
because they keep falling off.
gonna have to keep talking for a bit, you know. It's only
Well,
42 minutes so far.
if people have got questions, they can put them in there.
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
it's a 9x2 bowl. That is the colour. It's trying to get it in the light where a decent colour will show.
Just slightly to your right. That's better. That's it.
Yeah, I keep forgetting that these bloody cameras work back to front.
Yes.
But you can see
Yeah,
the
no, it's lovely.
colour inside.
Yeah.
I will stick some decent stills up on Facebook. But it is slightly coarser than the U would be.
Yes. Yeah.
But hey ho.
Question from Douglas Mungan: would a pan scourer work to put the wax on?
Yes, if you're using the green nylon pan scourers, the problem with those is, Douglas, they're equivalent to a 600 grit. So
Yeah.
that grey is equivalent to a 1600 grit. So
I was going to say it's knowing what the equivalent is, isn't it?
yeah, if you've got the green pan scourers, and this is the commercial size, I was going to measure one so that you knew what it was. It's 6 by 9.
6 for 9. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I quarter it and then cut each bit again. But that's the green one. That's equivalent to 600. The maroon one is equivalent to 1200. And the grey one, which I use for my wax, is equivalent to 1600.
What's the yellow one then?
The yellow one is virtually non-abrasive.
Well, right, because I only use that just for finishing off last little, almost buffing. So yeah,
So
that would make sense. Yeah.
you can't quite see on the top, but it does say very fine. That's the maroon one. So that's equivalent to 1200. And the grey one, it does say ultra fine.
Yeah.
Just about see it. So that's the difference in them. And I wouldn't use, well, occasionally I'll use the maroon.
And he
But
says web racks is available from who, please?
Hope.
Sorry.
Hope. Or who?
Who? No.
Oh,
From
who?
whom? Whom?
Sorry.
Whom?
You can pick it up on eBay. I believe you can pick it up on Amazon.
Yep, you
I
can.
did have an access to Merca when had my business, and I picked up quite a few bits there and then.
I
So
believe
I've
Axman did start stocking it. Now, whether they're still stocking it or not, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure whether they do the same colours, because
No, it's
Merca
possible not. But
is one colour, chestnut is another colour.
yeah, I
But
can say chestnut.
chestnuts do similar.
They're
Yeah.
similar. Yeah.
Just check when you're buying it as to what the grit equivalent is.
Equivalent grit. Yeah. Because that's all you need to know really.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then try it out and see how it works.
Well, one of those sheets is about pound 50, I think, these days. So you can get I can get 8 bits out of that.
Can say you'll make that last 8 months, and mine will last me about a week. Yeah.
So, but yeah, so
Yeah.
that's
No,
what I use. That's how I
it is
use it.
it really is a very traditional way of finishing, isn't it?
Yes,
As a technique,
and
there's
like I say,
nothing wrong with that.
it was out many moons before Glyn
Oh, hello.
bought Yorkshire grit on there.
I'm still here.
Oh God, we got foreigners in tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was.
Excuse me.
I was weaned on it, that and steel wool, and now I won't use steel wool because of the inherent. You can cut yourself quite easy because it's steel, whereas that
And
is impregnated nylon.
it can also self-ignite, which is
Yes, because
a bit
it's got a little bit of oil with it.
it's a bit tricky. Steel wool. I know
Mm,
we have some at the museum because they're old-fashioned boys in there, but they keep it in a tin, firmly
yeah.
shut, because it will set fire to itself,
Mm,
which is quite a worry, isn't it? Really,
yeah. Yeah.
especially if you chuck a battery in with it, it's guaranteed. Then
Mm,
oh, Pete Twisted Trees is in.
Pete's in. So that's what
Tiny,
you've missed, Pete.
tiny bit late.
Sorry about that. But
Nice bit of mulberry.
just crank that out. The colour is a little bit darker on camera than what it actually is in true life. That's not a bad picture for colour
No,
wise.
that's nice. It's quite a zingy yellow, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. But, nice wood to work with. I quite enjoy it.
Yeah.
Just had a look. Hermes do it £1.20 a sheet. Well, there you go, then, Douglas.
12, yeah. Yeah.
Yes,
Can
there's
you
many people
use
that do it, but
can you use fax with oil finishes? A Webrax, I think that's supposed to be. Can you use Webrax with oil finishes?
yes,
Yes, no
yes.
reason why not. Yeah.
Put the oil on, flood the wood with the oil, and then instead of using the bit that I've used, or like I've used it for wax, you just soak it in a bit of oil and just run it with oil, run the oil. It soaks up the dust as well, so works very
Yep.
much the same. But
Yeah.
again, if you've got forward and reverse, it's so much easier to do it slowly in forward and slowly in reverse, and
Yeah.
then gradually creep up the speed over a couple of increments.
Don't
Don't
forget to
try
lock your chuck
and
on.
don't try to put it on and think, oh, I'll do that. I can do that quickly. I'll run that at 2000. You'll end up wearing it.
Yep.
That would
In
be everywhere.
in vast quantities.
Mm.
Yes.
Plus, you'll also
Good.
spin it out by the circular motion,
Centrifugal forces. Yeah.
centrifugal force. Yeah. Yes, I knew the word, but I couldn't remember it.
No, it was there somewhere. So.
Yeah. Yeah. So, if there's no more questions, guys, and I'm sure Andy's happy to stand here for another 10 minutes if you've got any questions to fire at us. If there isn't any, I'm going to go and sit down and maybe even pour a beer. Oh, yeah. Good job we can't hear what you're saying.
If you insist.
I've had
39
this,
still watching.
yeah, I've had this problem with him at lunchtime as well.
Oh, I'm a bit forgetful, but don't worry about it.
Keeps talking to himself, but doesn't
Yeah.
realise that we can't hear him.
No, that's right. I'm lovely, really, but you know. Anyway, been really good to see you all again. Thank you for
Yes,
coming along.
thank you very much, one and all. And don't forget, next Tuesday you've got Andy at lunchtime,
Yep,
and next Tuesday evening you've got me in the evening again. It's
that's
just how it
true.
works. This is
Yep,
just an infill tonight. So next Tuesday evening I will be turning a small table lamp. I think I've tossed it outside, the bit of wood that I was going to use.
it's already up on YouTube
Yeah,
anyway, isn't it? So,
that's,
yep,
it's going to come out of that piece.
yep. And I'm finishing off the one I started lunchtime today, making a lid for that.
So that's a piece of ash. So sorry, Douglas, withdrawal symptoms. There's no you for a couple of weeks.
Yeah, we're going to be glad to get back to it eventually, but
Oh yeah,
got some
yeah.
time off. Yeah.
Got
Good.
plenty in the store. It's just a matter of cutting it up.
Yeah, so I've got
So
plenty stacked around here. Yeah,
mm,
good.
it looks like everyone's creeping off now. So
They are.
I
Yes,
think
I think it's
that's
time
what
to
we will
stop.
do then, Andy. We will creep off and say thank you, everyone,
Yep,
or one and
indeed,
all, for joining us this evening, and hopefully see you next Tuesday at lunchtime and evening.
indeed.
So good evening and goodbye to everyone. And I'm sure Andy is thinking the same. Goodbye and
Absolutely.
good
Yeah. Goodbye,
evening.
everybody, and I'll even wave to. Can't
You're
say
right.
fairer than that.
Oh, Pete's covering Terry on Monday lunchtime.
All
I'll
right.
try and remember Andy then Keith. Okay.
Thanks.
Thanks, Pete. It's always nice to get a little bit of a reminder just before. Grandpa Jim Woodturner. That's a
Oh,
name I haven't seen before.
I
So
think I've seen it somewhere, but I
I
can't.
think
I
I've seen
couldn't
it on
tell you.
someone else's, but I haven't
Yeah,
seen
I
it on
couldn't
mine
tell you
tonight, I don't
where or
believe.
when. No, no, it hasn't been
Yeah,
on today. No, no, no.
no. Sorry, Grandpa Jim.
It's just
This
finished.
is what you've missed. It's a 9x2 mulberry bowl with a wax finish. It was good. It was entertaining. It will all be on YouTube a bit later for you to watch in at your pleasure or your leisure.
Yeah, or well, both, hopefully.
Yeah, and if you'd like to leave any comments underneath the post when it goes up on YouTube, I nearly always reply. Not necessarily straight away. It's an age thing, but I nearly always leave a comment to
Yeah,
acknowledge that we've read them.
that's right.
So,
Absolutely.
with that, I'm going to end the broadcast.
Yep.
Thank you, everybody. Cheers, Andy. And
Cheers
we will
and
see you
bye,
next week.
bye, everybody. Yep. Look forward to it.